All right, there we go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. You probably have heard about the cybersecurity program at ASU, but may not know the detail and also the current status. So we are going to give you this information session. In fact, we present this information session every semester. It's a dynamic and it has been changed. And for this time, we also have some new announcement. When I get to the point, I will mention that. You also notice that in the title, we not only talk about the cyber security program, but also talk about the scholarship program. Now, the scholarship program will be presented at the end of my presentation. And although the scholarship program limited to domestic student, that's a US citizen, and also include a permanent resident of United States. International student not eligible. But that's only a small part of our presentation discussion today. And the large part, we talk about the cybersecurity program overall for all students. And more important, and let you know what's the current market situation and what are the technical and the national scene in this area. Okay, this is the announcement we have been sent out. I believe you received this. And since we have the COVID-19 still very serious and growing, and that's why we needed to have a Zoom meeting. On the other hand, we should not stop our communication. If you have any question, you can send me an email. Okay. My name is Stephen S. Yao, and you see my email address below my name. And before we start, I also like to introduce Professor Adam Dupay. Adam? Adam?
Hey everyone, good to see you.
Adam is a faculty in the cybersecurity area with us for several years. And currently he is the Associate Director of the Center for Cybersecurity and Digital Forensic. Okay, and previously we have the Information Assurance Center. I started that center, and Adam and other faculty participate, but the two centers merged together. Now the center is the Cyber Security and Digital Forensic Center. The director of the center is Professor Gail Ang. Currently, he is in Korea, and he come back periodically. Hopefully, he will come next semester and with us for more time. And okay, let me start. Why cybersecurity become more and more important and also penetrate to our life all the time? Because we're in the information age, right? You all use a computer, and you also use an iPhone, and you need information. It's very important, very convenient. You can access your information anywhere, anytime, and you also send out the information anytime. So it's great, and also make all of us more productive, and our life more exciting. And you want entertainment, you want to study, and you want to work, and interact with your friends and your family, and then it's very convenient. Very good. We are in the cyber world. Besides our life, and we also talk about how to improve our world and to advance our state of the art. our knowledge and our business, our study, and make all of us a lot more productive. Okay, so and but the challenge is how you expect to the information system, the data you want is available all the time, and it's reliable, trustworthy. It may be altered, okay, unauthorized, and by a hacker or by some devious party try to gain advantage of the user. Well, here you can see the major problem people are concerned about, and they're getting more and more serious, like ransomware and IT threat, and also the cyber attack, all sort of a cyber attack. But at the same time, we have the good technology. And if we know what we're doing and we are updated, what's the current state are, and the good practices and a good habit, then we can encounter that. Not only encounter that, we can use our technology much more efficiently, effectively for what we want to do. Certain areas emerging, artificial intelligence and the machine learning, obviously, and we get an automation and get a better result of to detect any spam and any attack, and how you give you good advice and so forth. And then well, we're talking about the smart data. We got more and more data now. People talk about large data, definitely. Data got to accumulate tons of data every day because we have a various resource, sensors, and the data center, the data requirement for all your work and so forth, accumulate a lot of much. But just the data, large data accumulate a lot if you don't know how to use and to analyze the data, then it becomes useless. So now we're talking about smart data, okay? And then what? A lot of the things, another type of technology, blockchain, because data getting very big and a large amount of computation and interaction, and worry about all sort of unauthorized alteration and attack and so forth, then how we're going to do? One of the technology is blockchain. Okay, so the technology also keep expanding in various applications, but we as a professional, as a researcher, as a scholar, as a practitioner, and as a professional in this AI area, we have to be on top of that and aware of the whole world. What's the situation? Now, the challenge of cybersecurity. Well, we still don't have a sufficient effective cybersecurity mechanism, technology, and that's why we need a more innovative research and also technology. Not only that, have to transfer to practical use, technology transfer. And another challenge is lack of skilled cybersecurity professionals, lack of people, experts, and practitioners in this area. The cybersecurity, probably not many people worry about 30, 40 years ago, only those experts, specialties, okay? But now everybody worry about. And not only talk about the national security, national infrastructure in our daily life, in everything, your banking, your transportation, and your healthcare, all those things. So when we talk about how to overcome this to meet this challenge, we need a strong cyber security high education. When talk about high education, that implies not only the research-oriented university, but also the 4-year program, as well as everything above high school. Of course, in order to talk about the advance of the state of art and increase a lot of experts and professionals in this area rely upon good school. And many of the schools in this area, we have many technology, engineering school, and a science university, and research-oriented university, but cybersecurity probably not get much attention until 20 years ago. Although some of the research area like cryptography already existed for a long time. Now, another area challenging is the awareness for everybody, all the users, not only professional. Anybody need a use of computer now. And when they use computer, they have to worry about, hey, something strange happen, and whether that somebody play a game with you or try to penetrate your system and get into your account system and so forth. So you're not responsible in developing this cybersecurity area, but since you use computer, you're one of the user, you depend upon the IT technology to do your work, you need to be aware on these cybersecurity problems. So how we overcome that? Get an effective training program. Now, training program is not just a one type training program for general population. There are training program for top management, middle management, and a technical manager, and everybody else. Of course, if a technical manager, technical work involve a computer, they already know quite an extent, but still know what are the going on, and the system, the company you join, and use and what kind of practice at the SU. We have all sort of rules, and those policies are good and to help to prevent hacker. And if there's a hacker and you will not ignore, and you should report what you should do, not just say, hey, I'm not responsible in the cybersecurity area. There are experts, there are IT people doing that. But you're part of the community, you're part of the user, and if the IT facility, the computer facility getting into a problem, definitely all of us get affected, okay? So these are the challenges, and there are good ways, and we both the government as well as the university and the community and pay attention, and we should aware, and our program, cybersecurity program, is exactly to address, to deal with this type of demand. So now, of course, very soon, you were looking for a job, okay? You already choose what area, what discipline you wanted to study, so you have something in mind. So here is some of the data we have regarding the regarding the average salary of, in this slide, talk about the cyber security professionals. Now, I'm not going to read the dollar amount, and it's not a low and not too high, but you say, hey, this is not impressive. I heard of my friend, after graduate, got a much higher salary than the top salary, the average salary we talk about here, $124,000, right? And even talk about the security architecture, that's a more high level. And then the average talk about the security engineer, and the average salary is about $91,600 something. Remember, this figure are the national average. You are living in Phoenix area, and you may find job in California, New York, Chicago, Texas, or other place. And you are coming from very strong university, ASU, and you receive very strong education program, and you also have done research in this area. Your salary much higher. Let me tell you, my master's student just finished last summer, and they got all their salary higher than this. Plus, they got a bonus, depending on the employer. Plus, they got a bonus, and then a stock option if they are doing well, and all those things. So, on the other hand, you need to know the national average. If you look at it, the general figure, this is quite high for the security professionals. Now, compare to other cyber, this is about this slide. What's going on? Okay, this slide talk about the IT professionals, not specialized in cybersecurity. IT in general, the salary a little bit lower, but not low either, okay, compared to other professions. All right, and then this slide talk about the for the software developer and in the discipline, in the software engineering and so forth. Okay, the IT is a little bit lower. No, this is, I skip over. Okay, this is for software engineering in general. When you graduate from computer science, computer system engineering, or software engineering, the job you have very likely you develop a software, all sort of a software application. Okay, and this salary is a little bit lower than the previous ones. If you're secure, regarding cybersecurity, it's a little bit higher. And then you talk about the general IT, not a computer science, not necessarily computer science, computer engineering graduate, software engineering graduate, then even lower because it's a broader. Now, what is information assurance? When we talk about information age, of course, we are concerned about information assurance. That includes the data, the information you are going to use, how is it collected, how is it stored, how is it processed, and how is it transmitted and distributed. And when you involve that kind of activity, it's not only technical, scientific, technology, but also management, okay? And so it's a very broad scope, and but the core part of this is the computer science and the software when you use a computer, because all this, the central system of information assurance, information processing is the computer and the network. Well, when computers started very early, in the 50s, during the Second World War, already military already used computer to project the itinerary trajectory and so forth. But that's a very special. Until 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, getting very popular. And then after we got the PC, personal computer, and then got into the high speed and got a Greek computing and the software getting very complicated because it handled more complicated and efficient high speed operation. Software also got very, everything fine. but how we are going to protect our information, our system, our network, and when the input come in and the output come out, are they trustworthy? Are they in good shape? Our national infrastructure. What's a national infrastructure? What? Transportation, energy, right? And banking, finance, of course, national security, all these. And these are, of course, it's a government's responsibility to make sure it's safe and so forth. Of course, it got to be all the civilian company, commercial company to develop and provide the services. Hey, if somebody want to attack any industry society or developed society, the most effective damage or the largest damage can cause you to attack the infrastructure. So the federal government, long time ago, already recognized to protect the national infrastructure, information infrastructure. There's there's a President Directive 63. That's not a year 63. That's the number 63. Okay, and the United States take all the necessary measures to protect the information infrastructure. Any significant vulnerability and to eliminate all the vulnerability, significant vulnerability, both physical and cyber attack, and it should be taken care under the control because it's the federal government's responsibility to protect national infrastructure, and this is issued before 9/11. Okay, and here's the footnote talk about the specific the directive, and then of course after 9/11 got into people got a wake-up call. How the terrorists succeed with all our very good national security system and defense, and how they succeed attack us successfully. What? A lot of them they rely upon IT, into information technology, and of course they got a lot of resources around the world and to organize such a terrible thing. So the federal government right away recognized after 9/11 and established the USA Patriot Act. Within 45 days, signed into law and beef up all these the mechanism and support the law enforcement agency to protect our country. Okay, but we talk about overcome the challenge. One of them is the manpower, short of manpower. So the federal government recognized that and then launched the National Center of Academic Excellence in Information Assurance Education, higher education, to produce more people, professionals, researchers, and educators in this area. Okay, so here the center is the CAE, that's a Center of Academic Excellence for Information Assurance. And then for the research-oriented university and institution, you can, this all talk about education, that's in university, education area. There's a CAE research. And then later on, information assurance may be too broad or too vague. So focus on the cyber defense education. cyber defense. Cyber is really a computer, okay? And for 4-year program usually also, if they have a graduate college, also include a graduate program. And extend to 2-year program. What's a 2-year program? Community college. And what that means? That means we are not only address the top level and experts, but also broader scope. The student in community college, they have the opportunity to learn cybersecurity. And if they organize and provide sufficient resources, they can be designated as a center for national, academic excellence in cyber defense education. Okay, at ASU, we started very early, and we got designated as the CAE IAE since 2007. And 2 years later, we also designate as a research because we already have a lot of research going on. But later, the CAE program got evolve and change. So when we designate, the second time we designate is designate under the new program designation called CIDSE. That's a cyber defense education. Okay, but in that program, not only you say, hey, you're good in cyber defense, but you have to be more specific. These are the areas each area we have to show. We have good enough courses, we have a faculty, we have a research activity, and we also have a students' interest and resources and to offer this program. But I'm not going to read these 5. As you know, they are all very critical and important. And one of them I talk about covers software security and network and forensic, and also the new thing talk about the new system, cloud computing, and all these things. Okay, the detail is in the in order to qualify to be a national center of excellence, we must have a center to devote it to this cybersecurity program. When we start with, we have the Information Assurance Center, and later we have the Cyber Security and Digital Forensic Center, and now these 2 centers have been merged, and the Cyber Security and Digital Forensic Center is broader than just the education. Besides the education, also emphasize research and also entrepreneurship. Okay, and Professor Adam is the associate director of the center I already mentioned, and Professor Ang is the center for the director, and Professor Ang is the associate director. Now, we say we have to have courses. Look at it. This is the list of courses we offer in our school, CIDSE. And not many universities have these many courses. In order to qualify, we may offer only half of the course, but not in great depth. But in our case, we offer in a lot in depth, and there's also some research on it. At the bottom goes a special topic course, both undergraduate and graduate level. Besides CIDSE, Math Department, Electrical Engineering, and the business school, they also offer. But of course, the focus here is in CIDSE. Now, we talk about the, also we need a concentration program. In some school, they just established a new school called a Cybersecurity School. But in that case, we'll run into some difficulty the student has to make a choice very early on, whether you want to be computer science, computer engineering, or cybersecurity. When you graduate from high school in the early stage, you may not sure what you want to study. But in our case, we can instead of set up a different department, different school, and student had to separate from the computer science and so forth. We choose the approach to have a concentration program. Okay, so we have the concentration program in computer science and computer system engineering. Both are undergraduate and a graduate level. Of course, computer system engineering is only undergraduate level. And so for the graduate degree for the computer science, we have a master and MCS and a PhD. And the detail is in the link. I'm not going to go over. You can check. And when you want to know the detail. Now, this semester, we propose to establish a cybersecurity specialty in software engineering degree program. I don't know how many of you are familiar with software engineering program is in the Poly campus. But since with the online and it's a student can easily take the courses over there as well as the student in software engineering can take the courses over here, okay? And due to the software engineering program, they have a lot of required courses and not many technical elective. So cannot add many cybersecurity courses in the undergraduate. But in their master's degree program, we can require certain cybersecurity courses we already have, and then take the same set of required courses and certify the requirement as a specialty. The term, don't worry about the terminology, what is specialty or concentration program. Concentration program is much more comprehensive, but in reality, in this case, it's essentially the same because software engineering, it definitely involves a lot of computer science and a lot of overlap with the computer engineering as well as, but the focus is in the software. Okay, and the software is a major aspect in cybersecurity. Now, this program will start effective next semester. No, this will be announced next semester, but will be started in the fall, 2021. And when the student for the master degree program, just like other master degree program in software engineering, without the specialty, got a CIDSE and a non-CIDSE option, two different options. And this will have something to do with the eligibility for the scholarship. That's why I especially mentioned that. Now, for the cybersecurity program, the criteria is quite well, I already mentioned this before when in our 5 areas in the concentration area. Now, you may wonder, what's the benefit, direct benefit to the student? Number one, when you interview for a job, nowadays, besides the people know how much you know about computer science, how much you know AI, machine learning and programming and all those things. Hey, they may also ask you how much you know about the cybersecurity. Why? Because a lot of companies, a lot of organizations, they are short of cybersecurity people. They need more. That's why they pay higher. The starting salary higher. I have a master's student and bachelor student and a PhD student, they go to industry. If they have a specialty expertise in cybersecurity, their starting salary is high. I already mentioned before, right? Now, if you say, yeah, I have this specialty, I have the cybersecurity concentration program finished, or the specialty program, that's an additional credential. Furthermore, as you well know, we have a lot of research activity and interact. Our faculty are very active in international conferences and journals, and publish research results with graduate students and so forth. So we have a lot of interaction with companies and government agencies. You are associated with a very strong program in the country. That's your direct benefit. And for US citizen, then you also qualify, eligible for the federal government scholarship, which I'm going to talk about. I mentioned earlier, the scholarship for federal government usually is for domestic student. That's true for other federal government scholarship, and also true for scholarship from other countries for their own citizens, except for some special program, international program, designated as international program, like a collaborative with another country, okay? So, but the important part is, the first item I talk about, you graduate from a very strong program in cybersecurity. And if the company needed any people, require cybersecurity knowledge, or they try to build their department, expand their cybersecurity department, hey, you will be in a very strong position, okay? Now, what's the federal government scholarship program? There's this. The NSF and the DOD each get a scholarship. NSF scholarship also co-sponsored with the Department of Homeland Security. They put out also part of the money. And the goal is to improve the manpower, skilled manpower in professional in cybersecurity and for federal government. But you only needed to serve the federal government for the period you receive the scholarship. Afterwards, it's your choice. You have the flexibility to stay in the government if you are doing well and choose that as career, or you get a lot of good offer from industry, then you go to industry. Your experience in the federal government is very useful, very valuable for you to be employed in this area. Why? Obviously, because the federal government is the best employer, provide you the high, the very rich experience and you know, the experience you cannot get it from any company. And also federal government, especially the military, they have higher standard about the cybersecurity. So now let me talk about the scholarship. We received the scholarship in 2012, and we finished our first scholarship program to 16, and then we got a new one starting 2017, and it's still going. And currently, we have a nice scholarship student, and I invite them all attend this information session, since you cannot see each other, but I think they all lock in, and yeah, if you are interested, then let me know, and I can introduce some some you with them, know their experience. And we have a 9 scholarship student at a different level. 4 of them will get a degree, or I think 2 or 3 of them will finish and start serving the federal government. And then the other will continue study, and some continue go on from undergraduate to 4+1 and the master's degree program. The scholarship program include PhD, but here's some of the detail. Eligibility, I already mentioned, must be U.S. citizen or permanent resident. And you must be full-time student in the cybersecurity program in the well, such a program is in the computer science and the computer system engineering. For master degree student and a bachelor degree student, the scholarship is for 2 years, maximum 2 years. For PhD, you can have 3 years. If you have the 4+1 program, you can also have up to 3 years, okay? And this is the, in the software engineering program starting next fall, and you can have the scholarship. If you apply next semester, then your scholarship program can start next fall for up to 2 years. Now, keep in mind, since you are required to serve the federal government after the scholarship and during the summer, you need to do summer internship with the federal agency. Anybody work for federal agency require background check. But for your job, you're in the cybersecurity area, so your background check may be high, not just an average employee of any employee of federal government. And don't worry about whether you certify the background check or not. If you don't have a criminal record or some bad behavior or some suspicions about your integrity and so forth, then you shouldn't have a problem, okay? As far as a background check. But of course, you must have a good scholarship. You must have a scholarship record, good. Obligation is, I already mentioned, you are required to serve the federal government for the number of years you receive the scholarship. If you receive 2 scholarships, 2 semesters, 1 academic year, because summer you have to do summer intern in federal government. If you receive 2 semester scholarship, you serve for 1 year. And after you finish serve, you have the choice to continue if you are doing well, and or you have the choice to go to industry, to any government. Now, talk about the application. This is very straightforward, and we have the very well developed application form you need to fill out. The requirement is for the scholastic record is 3.25 out of 4. Why we need such a high standard? Because all the scholarship students are outstanding students and satisfy the need of high level professional demand in the cybersecurity area for the federal government, for the industry. Okay, so it's not an average student. I think many of you have a good grade and concentrate on study, and you can expand your knowledge and skill very quickly. And what you need to do is the official transcript, and also the 2-letter recommendation from your professional, not your relative, that kind of thing, standard thing. And the letter of recommendation you directly send to us, okay? So your reference can provide candid opinion about your behavior, your character, and your experience of how they know you and how well you are. And you need to have a short essay to talk about why you are interested in this. And also you understand the obligation. And the next deadline for, if you are interested to have the scholarship starting spring, next semester, the deadline is a week from today. And don't worry about I think if you are already a student here, and you should be able to finish the application. The only thing you may have some delay is about a letter recommendation, and I can help you to one of the recommendation. If you are a student already here, then you should ask the faculty from whom you have taken courses at ASU. All right. And even the letter recommendation a little bit late, that's okay, but the other information must be complete in order for us to process. The reason we need such an early deadline, let me tell you why. We are not one make a final decision, give you the scholarship. We are select, recommend the scholarship applicant to the federal government. The federal government has to review, and you have to also sign the service agreement with the federal government that after the scholarship, you understand there's a postgraduate service for the period equal to your scholarship, that kind of thing. Of course, you also understand you must satisfy the background check to make sure you are doing well. You will do well in the federal government. And if you have any question, please send me email. We can have a Zoom, and I can meet with you if necessary to go over this. And if you are not talking about starting next semester, then you have more time. Okay, don't apply early. I think the semester you can apply is the second semester of your sophomore year, because then next semester is your junior year. We only offer the scholarship for 2 years for undergraduate. For graduate student, more flexible, your bachelor degree, your master's degree, PhD degree, anytime. Now you may say, well, I studied PhD, I may not finish a 3 year. Well, don't worry about it. If you work well, we can make arrangement and recommend to you serve the federal government postpone 1 semester or 2 semesters as soon as you finish your PhD degree, then you serve. Okay, and how about the support? Well, you should know. If you are good at PhD student, you don't worry about support. You can get support from your advisor or from the department. The amount of money may not be that much. Okay, not equal, but it's definitely sufficient for you to continue your study. All right, and here I will post this in the, if you want, I will post this, send me email. I send this set of slides to you, and you can have any question, also send me email, because now it's a Zoom. On the other hand, if you have some question you want to ask now, I'd be glad to entertain. And or you have a question for Professor Adam Dupay. Any question?
I just have a simple question. So
Yes.
do we have this kind of meeting every semester? Because as far as this scholarship we've been talking about, I can't apply this semester, but I am interested in starting fall. So will we be covering this again during the spring for
Yeah.
the fall application?
Well, if you, no, since you already attend this meeting, the
Mhm.
information change is not that much.
Just the application date, pretty much,
Oh,
right?
the application date will change.
Yeah. Okay.
I mentioned November 20th. That's the deadline for scholarship
Spring.
starting next semester.
Okay.
If you scholarship expect to start next fall, the deadline will be sometime in March or April.
Okay.
Okay. But
Thank you.
on the other hand, don't apply early.
Mm-hmm.
Don't also apply late, last minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Getting very close to the deadline, then you find out your references still not available and so forth. Because, hey, within 1 week, you may have difficulty to get a letter of recommendation. But
Mhm.
within 3 months, you don't have. Right?
Yeah. So prepare early, but don't submit early. Just
Well, the
prepare.
main thing is we want to look at your transcript,
Yeah.
how you are doing this semester. If you
Okay.
apply this semester now, you don't have the final grade for this semester yet.
Mm-hmm.
You must have a good grade, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
That's the main reason.
Awesome. Thank you.
But you are welcome to talk to me, and I'd be glad to answer all the questions, get you ready. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question?
Hi, I had a question.
Yes?
Could you apply more than once? Like if you didn't get it the first time, like for the scholarship, could you apply again?
Yeah. What? I tell you, the evaluation process. First of all, after we receive your complete application, then I will notify you. And if you satisfy all the eligibility requirement, then we will invite you for interview. Interview with a faculty committee. Okay? And the interview primarily to go over with you, check your record in your application and make sure you understand, and also make sure you don't have, the things not included in the application. For example, whether you have any trouble with a law enforcement agency or other things, that type of thing. Okay?
Okay.
So, and after the interview, then we can quickly decide, recommend you to the scholarship to the federal government. And they will also, we have to fill out a lot of information for you based on your application. And they will make the final decision. But let me tell you, not a single one we recommend got denied, because of course our standard is very high and we are very careful. So it's like a formality. On the other hand, it's important. When you sign the acceptance, you also sign the acceptance with the federal government to understand you are committed to the postgraduate service for the federal government. Okay?
Okay.
That's the reason. So yeah, that's why you take time. I think in the spring semester, because before spring semester, we have this semester break. Okay, Christmas holiday and a New Year and so forth. And that will cause additional delay. And for the, if you start in the fall semester, then that's the time before the summer. Well, in the summer, we still can process, but it will be slowed down. So the deadline actually is not very rigid, but you can understand November 20 for next semester, it also almost cut to the latest day we can, because after that, it's Thanksgiving and a semester break, we have to schedule your interview and send our recommendation to the federal government. Then they also have the break, right? And the classes started mid-January, okay?
Okay.
If you are 1 day late, doesn't matter. So it's another you will have a penalty, like you file income tax. But pay attention. We originally set up the deadline like in later October. We have been postponing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing is, as I mentioned before, the most important information we need is your transcript, including your final grade. Now, for you to start your scholarship next semester, you have the deadline in November 20. Definitely, you don't have the final grade for this semester yet, but we have your previous 3 semesters. That's good enough. You follow me? But if you are freshman year, then you don't have much record to show. That's why it's too early. Did that make sense?
Yeah,
Hello?
that does.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other question?
Yes, I have one question. I don't really have the greatest GPA at the moment, but I
Yes.
really do feel like I can pick it up to the minimum of the scholarship requirement.
Okay.
I was wanting to know any more information if there's anything I could do about it.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. It doesn't mean you either have the scholarship for full 2 years, you can have the scholarship for 3 semesters, or even for 2 semesters. So that means if your current GPA is not high enough, and you should work hard enough to improve your GPA, and after 1 semester, 2 semesters, you reach that level, then you're eligible, you're qualified. You follow me?
Right.
Now, I think what we kind of is the following. At the beginning of your scholarship, you have to start your GPA 3.25 out of 4.
Right.
Okay? So
Yeah.
even right now, you don't have, for example, you like to apply starting next semester. And right now, you don't have your GPA 3.25, but very close, like 3.1, okay? And I encourage you still apply. If you're confident, you're doing well this semester, you will get most A. So including this semester's your grade, your GPA will be above, will reach 3.25. Then you still good for the scholarship. Okay?
Okay.
Now, there's two also aspect I want to clarify. It doesn't mean your GPA reaches 3.25 will automatically you get a scholarship. Depend on competitiveness. If we have 10 students apply, and of course we cannot recommend all 10 of them. We may not have 10 of them. Then we will pick the best few, what we have the opening, then to the federal government. Currently, we have an opening. So that's why if any student interested should apply. Just like any scholarship, the minimum requirement is 3.25. Okay? Yeah. In fact, I can tell you most of the scholarship students, they have substantially higher, but don't worry about, depend on the, next year, if you apply now, very likely you will get it.
Right.
Okay? Any other question?
Sure. So we're expected to be a full-time student if we get the scholarship.
Well, when you start a scholarship, if
Yeah.
you start next semester, you need to be full-time student the semester you start your scholarship. And when you have the scholarship.
But that doesn't preclude necessarily having another job as well if we can fit it in.
No, we pay you enough. You don't need another job.
Sure. Just planning my life, that's all. Okay.
Okay. We pay your food, tuition, plus your stipend. Undergraduate is $25,000 for 2 semesters. Graduate is $34,000 for 2 semesters. It's higher than research assistantship and the teaching assistantship we offer, right? And in addition, we have up to $6,000 for professional development to support reimbursing your textbook for the courses you take, and plus the travel expenses to conferences relevant to your scholarship, to your study. So it's a very good scholarship. You don't need to work. And if you have part-time job, you have to resign once your scholarship started.
Okay. A separate question.
Yeah.
Is this, if we're getting our undergraduate and we're covered by the scholarship, are we expected immediately afterwards to go into a working position, or are we able to move on to the master's, or is it just recommended to take the
What you can, your scholarship apply, you have to get it at the end of your scholarship. You should get either bachelor degree or master degree or PhD degree, right? One degree, one of the 3. You can get it both, like a 4+1. You can continue, but the scholarship only support maximum 3 years. No student can get more than 3 years. Also depend on our budget, but I think usually it's 2 years, 2.5 years, or 3 years, maximum 3 years.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Well, if not, and if you are thinking about starting your scholarship in the spring, please send me the application by the deadline, even though you don't have the letter of recommendation yet, okay? But definitely you need to submit your transcript and your application, complete the application form, as well as your essay. Say why you wanted to apply and what's your interest in, you're really interested in cybersecurity, okay? All right. If not, we are going to finish this meeting. Huh? Okay, other question?
Just leave the game.
Yes? Can you put on the Zoom? Somebody got a question? All right, if not, we finish. And for those scholarship students, we have the audio still. The scholarship student, I send you an email before the information session, provide you the link. We're going to have a brief meeting. Okay, I'm going to conduct the log on to that link. You should also log on the link. That's it.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
All right,
Thank you, Steve.
bye.